Anyway, let's move on to the leftist hypocrisy en masse. So, well, it's not even hypocrisy at this point. Like, so there's a huge amount of leftist. Let's do that again.
Leftist.
There's a huge amount of leftist political theatre around mask usage. So, I mean, the hypocrisy part we've been over a million times. Everyone's seen it. Politician, oh, we should wear masks. Then doesn't give a toss or goes and sleep with their
I mean,
mistress.
Leftist philosophy is quite hypocritical in the first place.
But they don't care about hypocrisy, so that's not the thing. So I'm looking at the political theatre of all this, and just the stupid decision, especially by the Labour Party in this particular instance, that I want to go through. So we mentioned this before, but we'll have it up again. A pictorial manifestation of the ethical differences between the left and the right. What do we have on the left? We have on the first image there, the left being holy and pure and sacred, all wearing their masks in Parliament, very crowded. They want to save lives.
Yes.
Oh, the holy left. Then you have the evil, the satanic right over here who
my goodness,
not wearing masks. All of this in the context of them all standing for a moment's silence about a MP who was brutally murdered by an Islamist. Conversation about the Islamification of the UK or Islamism, not happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen next week.
Well,
or the week after. Or the year after. Not going to happen ever. So they're not going to talk about that. But they are going to have this big thing about masks that they want to do. So this is the political theatre, as you can see. And if we go to the next one, I mentioned the fact that it's all about David's murder, because also this went on, I have to mention, I didn't know where else to put it, which is Zara Sultana, the Islamo-leftist, standing outside. This evening, outside Parliament, I joined a rally to say refugees are welcome here, with a sign saying, together with refugees. 5 days.
Yes. Timing.
David was murdered by a refugee. Labour MP goes out with a bunch of other Labour MPs as well. She's not the only one. To celebrate refugees are welcome here.
Now, I understand that you've got to virtue signal. You've got to win those political points, but...
Virtue?
Well...
What's the virtue in this?
Well, from the leftist perspective...
I think they are not stupid, and I think that they are not as dumb in this case to know that nothing's going on here. I think they're proud of themselves. I honestly think they are that evil. But only this is the wholly perfect left who never do nothing. So let's go to the next one here. So we have a Labour MP talking about masks. So she's responding to that tweet about the holy left versus the evil right. It is so sad that this has become a party political issue with the stark photo showing the dividing lines. This is simply a public health issue. And with high rates of COVID, wearing masks in a confined space is a very sensible precaution. Is it? Is it though? Well, I mean, there is huge amounts of fear. Again, coming out of the Labour Party. The left-wing party. We'll get the next one here. We have a Labour MP here, John Athworth. 50,000 COVID cases yesterday, 10,000 children infected every single day. The wall of defence is falling down. Get ready for the hell that is going to come. I don't know why he couldn't just tweet the graph of people going into hospital, a thing we care about, because that's where you're going to end up dying, or overwhelming the holy NHS. The next one on this, just show the graph. If you can scroll down on this one. Yeah, not going to tweet that. Never going to show that.
Wouldn't be particularly politically expedient, would it?
No, it wouldn't help his fear-mongering, so not interested in that one, is he? Or we could carry on. So let's go to the next one here, which is the projections that were given by given to the government to say, what if we don't lock down? We're going to end up in this red line or the blue line. Here's the lowest projections there on the green line. Things get much worse. We might be on the lower sections of the green line.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything could get so much worse, and we'll end up being in what was predicted to be the safest scenario. Most optimistic, as this person points out.
The unwashed masses might infect us.
Yeah. So if we move to the next one here, I just want to say, shut up. Just shut up, because we all know. This is actually responding to that Labour MP, and of course it's an image of the Labour Party conference of all of the front bench MPs sat there, all with no masks, in their conference of several thousand, all with no masks, and then them all going to parties afterwards, all with no masks. They're not interested in any of this. It is just political theatre. And we know this because they live streamed the thing. So if we go to the next one, I watched the full thing. We clipped it.
God bless you for doing so.
For the amazing segments like this, in which a lady proclaims the fact, I think, what does she claim? She claimed that, her ADHD explains the fact that she's fat. I don't think that's true, lady.
An overactive arm, it just keeps shoveling it straight into my mouth.
And then does socialist fists.
Yes,
because,
comrade.
Yeah, again, I mean, we saw the whole thing. The whole thing is just a theatre, and they know it. This is not to say that masks cannot play a role in dealing with COVID-19, YouTube. But it's also just the fact that, well, if no one takes any of this seriously, well, the mass usage isn't doing what you're saying it's going to do. Now, would it, by definition? So they get criticised for this, rightfully. And one of them went on Julia Hartley-Brewer's show to talk about this. I don't think he was prepared for it, but she demolished him, I believe. So if we go to the next one, we can see the interview on Talk Radio. And she decided to ask him, well, why do you right now arguing that everyone in Britain should be wearing masks 24/7 because COVID, and yet at your own conference, you don't give a toss. Let's play the clip.
The Labour Party would support, mandatory face masks in crowded public areas. Why was that not enforced at the Labour Party conference then? Because I was fascinated to see that Labour MPs, front bench included, all donned their masks for Prime Minister's questions. Indeed, on Monday, and they returned for the tributes to Sir David Amess. Barely a face to be seen on the Labour benches. But 2 weeks ago, I was at Labour Party conference with you. Barely saw a mask there. People doing karaoke, hugging each other in crowded parties. No social distancing whatsoever, and no good ventilation. People crowded on top of each other. Why does the Labour Party think that everyone else should wear masks, but you don't, unless you're putting on the theatre at PMQs?
Well, you sounds like you had some more intimate interactions than I had at Labour Party conference, because I did have a mask on. I wasn't hugging people. There were some difficult
Did you
moments.
wear a mask all the time at Labour Party conference? Because I didn't see any other front benchers. I think Ed Miliband I spotted once in a restaurant wearing a mask.
Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but I would say, of course, to get into the conference itself, you had to show clearly a double vaccination status or have a negative.
No, not after Sunday. You didn't.
Well, if you slip through, Julia.
Jonathan. Jonathan. I still have the email from the Labour Party conference organisers stating that they were no longer, from Monday onwards, going to be checking whether anyone's vaccine status or whether they'd had a negative lateral flow. I don't show my vaccine status. That's my own personal business. I showed my lateral flow negative test on Sunday. I was not asked for it after that. A negative lateral flow from Saturday ain't any use on a Wednesday when people were quite happy at the conference centre, and there's no question at all that we saw the likes of Angela Rayner and others doing karaoke in a crowded nightclub on the Tuesday night. There were not COVID safe measures in place from Sunday onwards.
Well, you perhaps have had a different experience to me, Julie, but what I would say is this whataboutery really that helpful? We've had 1,000 people die in the last 7 days.
Got him. I just fully got him there. Liar, pants on fire. I mean, the fact
kept walking it back.
Yeah, and then having to default to, people are dying, Julia.
Just throwing out whataboutisms. What are you on about?
What about? Well, what about what? Well, the fact that you're like, yes, mandate for everyone, and also when the cameras are on at Prime Minister's questions, we'll wear them. Any other time of the day, we're not so inclined. We should be exempt. Why? Just you. Just Labour MPs, Labour members. I mean, again, the point being, and she found the images here of him at conference not wearing a mask in multiple places because he's just a liar. Just caught red-handed here. And also the point being that thousands of people gather at Labour conference, and then it went on for a week, and every time you spend all day there interacting with thousands of people, and then you go off to your restaurants or pubs or bars or wherever the hell else, as you would do, and interact with other people in these other settings, and then you meet up the next day, and then the next day, and they're not testing every day. Again, as a right-winger, I don't care. Don't give a toss. Hang out. Be free. That would be my position. Not your position, is it? Which is why you're demanding that we have a mandate across the entire country for everyone to constantly have their faces muzzled. For what reason? Well, one you don't seem to care about, that's for sure. So if we carry on this as well, if we go to the next one, I can't remember what's up next, but I think it's more of him being a complete moron. So if we go to the next link. And it's the Labour conference front benches. As you can see, Julia making the point here that literally everyone was ignoring this. I mean,
You're scanning through that image, I don't see a single mask.
I can see one woman surrounded by people not wearing masks. And I was like, yep, there we are. That's 2 weeks ago. Didn't give a F. So let's carry on. So if we go to the next one as well, there's also the fact that they went out. I wanted to mention as well, he carried on with this interview. So he, after doing that one and getting destroyed, he decided to go on Kay Burley's show for God knows what reason and double down, in which he's like, yes, but this whataboutery isn't very helpful, is it? Like, helpful for what?
Just throwing out a stock term doesn't invalidate criticisms.
Yeah, but also the fact that it's not very helpful. I mean, helpful to the Labour Party, no, but because you are awful and retarded.
Has this man been watching internet debates? And he's just been getting his tactics from there.
What if I just say that's a fallacy and move away? Don't explain.
No true Scotsman, sir. No true Scotsman.
Those memes were making fun of you, calling you a Chad, not literally. Anyway, so again, it's also absurdist to have him in an interview with Kay Burley. Kay Burley, remember this? You remember her?
What about her?
Remember she wasn't on Sky News for quite a long period? Remember what that was?
No, I don't actually.
Because she's also a hypocrite.
Oh, well,
she had a big old pie.
Oh, yes.
In the middle of the lockdown.
I do remember this, actually.
She was like, yeah, all right, come around to this event. And then they went out somewhere else. And then somewhere else with all of their friends from Sky News. Again, with Beth Rigby and all the rest of these. Stupid political theatrists. And there's that. So, of course, one liar interviews another liar about being liars. Hooray. So let's carry on. So we want to go to Jacob Rees-Mogg, who... So they make this argument. This guy goes and gets out these terrible interviews. And then back in the House, where they're meant to be continuing this, Jacob Rees-Mogg had them stand up and, showvote at him that, well, your minister recommends masks. I've got my mask, Mr. Mogg. Why don't you? And he shuts him down brilliantly. Again, from the channel Parliamentarian, who does a lot of these clips. I want to give a shout out to because he does a good job there, because it's very boring to watch this stuff.
Oh, yes.
I know. So anyway, let's go to the clip on this.
Health Secretary yesterday said, unfortunately not to this House, but to a press conference, that it's crucial for people to act responsibly, wear masks in crowded places to avoid future restrictions. I give the members opposite, including the Right Honourable Gentleman, the opportunity to see one can have a very natty matching mask to go with one's outfit. The Right Honourable Gentleman may wish to talk to his tailor about what they can construct. I strongly urge him to do so, because we do seriously need to set the highest possible best example to the public if we are to avoid the winter crisis that none of us wants. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Leader of the House.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I'm grateful to the Honourable Lady for the tribute she paid. Masks is a very interesting matter, Madam Deputy Speaker, because I may retweet after this session. You know how there's amazing modern technology on social media. A picture from the Socialists' conference that took place recently. And do you know the most extraordinary thing? There are all these luminaries of the opposition benches, some of the most formidable figures in British political life. And their faces are naked and unadorned. And what I have heard about the drinks party sponsored by the Daily Mirror at the Socialist Party conference, I don't know that they were able to get the drinks through their masks. That may have been the reason why masks are worn more by socialists when there are television cameras around than when they are not going to be seen.
I mean, absolutely correct.
Yep.
Give them full props for that. At the same time, of course, this does elicit to the criticism of the Conservatives, which should not be ignored, which is the fact that they are the ones who did the lockdowns. They're the ones who mandated masks for quite some time within indoor buildings, but they've now gotten rid of them. It's also absurdist to see the little clerk there wearing a mask and no one else is in the bloody building, but okay. Yeah, there's that. And but not to forget, well, we're in a period now in which the only mask mandate I know of in Britain is currently on the London Underground by Mayor Sadiq Khan, Labour Party. What's he doing? Out clubbing with Labour MPs. Clubbing. He's out clubbing, for Christ's sake.
I mean, there was photo opportunities. Of course he was.
Yes, why not? And you can see him, he's bragging about it as well in this photo.
The fact that he shared this on his own timeline.
Yeah, so he says here, promises made, promises delivered, and it's in response to someone talking about him going clubbing with 80s music or something. Like, he's bragging about the situation. If you scroll up on this, just to show the fact
That's right, I can have fun.
Yes, unlike you, get lost. Anyway, so there's that. I mean, this is before we get into other stuff as well. So if we carry on with the next one here, get this up, you can see a MP also mocking someone for getting COVID, which was a weird thing to do, but okay. And then the response, of course, is that, yeah, well, you don't wear masks either, you moron. So if we go to the next link, we have, I think it's Guido Fawkes pointing out that, yeah, here's you at the conference, having drinks, no one wearing masks, because this is all political theatre for you people. And it's just unbelievable, and it just keeps going and keeps going. And at least it now is at least one party that's doing it rather than both. That's silver lining.
I'm sure for every single person who said something like this, you can find innumerable photos of them completely maskless where they thought no one would be paying too much attention.
Yes, such as these two.
Yes.
Here. Anyway, he responds in this underneath this tweet where he says, well, I went to an event where everyone was required to either be double jabbed or have a negative test to gain access. And Guido rightfully just being like, yeah, not only did they stop monitoring that after 2 days, that photo was taken in the Hilton Hotel, which did not ask for proof of vaccination on entry, because they can't, because that hasn't passed. It's not not allowed to do such a thing. So just, again, another liar caught out, and yet again, from a left-wing party. And then this is before we even get into, of course, Biden and AOC and all the rest of them. So the last link here, just to make the point as well, this is global. You have this one here, which he instituted the mask mandate, and they just broke it because doesn't care. It's not for him. It's not for them. It's for you. Yep. And again, not that they even argue that it seems to do much for their selves because they don't wear them.
You'd think, given his age, that Biden would be very enthusiastic to wear the masks.
I
At
mean,
all places.
You'd say that. I saw a picture recently with Her Majesty the Queen meeting, what was it, Bill Gates, John Kerry, all the rest of it. None of them wear a mask either. They're all in their, 90s to 70s.
Yep.
The young bracket. the bracket not at risk, I'm sure.
Yes.
But no,
I wonder what the graphs have to say about them.
not very positive. If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full thing at 1 p.m. every weekday at lotuseaters.com, or you can sign up to get access to all the premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, we've got loads of really good stuff. Every week we have a Contemplations and Epochs episode that goes up, and in the Contemplations we talk about just interesting things, and the Epochs episodes are probably my favourite because I love talking about history. This latest one is we're doing a bit of a series on the 100 Years' War and why England kept winning. And we've not finished it yet, and you're going to really enjoy the end of that one. But we've also got other excellent episodes that we do, like the book club. The most recent one was Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. This was about his time in Burma as a colonial officer, and when he was tasked with the shooting of a rampaging elephant. And it's really, really interesting what the circumstance of the thing was. But we also have lots of other content, such as premium articles, which have audio tracks on them for our silver and gold subscribers. And we do premium podcasts about things that we don't really feel that we can put on YouTube or have done a particularly large amount of research into. And so it's worth keeping them slightly more private. And we also do lots of very interesting interviews, such as this one with comedian Steve Hughes, which was really fascinating because I didn't expect him to be a philosopher. But anyway.
Yeah. Also, the last thing to mention is the live event content we have. So we occasionally, when we get around to it, doing our live events, and the videos from them are on the website as premium, of course, because people came to see and paid. So go and check that out. This is on the worst of critical race theory.
Yes.
And I do mean the worst.
It's unconscionable.
Yeah. So if you'd like access to all that premium content, go to lotuseaters.com and subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.